Good night.
Lovecraft.
Good night, everybody.
Lugbot.
Good night.
Couldn't even type anything in, huh? All right. All right. Welcome to episode 227 of LinuxLUGcast. We're an open podcast /lug or lug/podcast that meets at 9 p.m. Eastern every first and third Friday of the month using Mumble. We encourage anyone listening to join us and participate on the podcast. Check out linuxlugcast.com for the server details. How is the web Mumble server coming along?
Yes. So, did you see what I wrote in Matrix about it?
That you've gotten the last I remember, you said you had gotten the repeater bot to work, but it was only in root.
Yeah. So I wrote a little update in Matrix about I've got it to now it goes into the correct room and it repeats what you say, but I'm still trying to get to the delay to work, and it's still like I made a Git repo for Lugcast that has a couple of different versions that I'm working on in there of the repeater bot, and I'm still working on trying why it's. Oh yeah, I'll talk about it on the show.
Okay.
Because it's kind of its own thing.
If you have any questions, comments, or topics you'd like us to discuss, you can send us an email at feedback@linuxlugcast.com. We have a subreddit, which nobody really checks anymore because now we are mostly on Lemmy. And all we need is one more subscriber to Lemmy, and we're at 100. One more.
100,
so if you're listening and you're not subscribed to our Lemmy, go and subscribe now, just so we can get that 100. All right. Links to our Lemmy are, let's see, we have a Reddit, Lemmy, YouTube, and PeerTube channels are all available on either in the show notes or, you know what, I'm not sure I put Lemmy on our website yet. That is something I'm going to have to update, but check the show notes. They're definitely in there. Do we have a link to our Matrix? Do we have a link to Matrix in here? We have a link to Matrix on the website.
Being in the show notes?
We should update the show notes to have the link for the Matrix in there.
Oh, I thought for sure we did.
Well, you know what we could do? We could wipe out the subreddit one and then put the Matrix one in there. And I'll have to change Reddit to Lemmy.
And then the PeerTube needs to change too, because you only
what the hell did you do now?
Well, no, that's what you use if you actually have a PeerTube account to subscribe to the channel.
Okay.
But that's not the actual URL of the PeerTube channel. So,
okay.
But I can fill it in real quick, and then you can whatever you need to do.
Did we put the link for the PeerTube on the site? I don't have to recheck the site now. Well, while I'm rechecking the site, I'll introduce people here. So with us tonight is Eric.
Hello. You can actually call me Lemmy user number 100.
Did you just...
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm doing it right now. What should I put in my explanation?
It doesn't even matter. Everybody gets automatically...
I'm number 100. That's it.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome.
You get a prize.
Good to be on the show.
Joe?
I'm here.
Lovecraft?
Good evening.
Lugbot?
Oh, hey, Lugbot, wake up.
I'm here.
I'm here.
Minnix?
I'm here too. So.
Mordancy?
Hello.
And Net Minor.
Hello, friend.
All right, so do you want to dive into your where you're at with the Mumble web?
Yeah, hang on one second. Let me put the correct PeerTube address in the show notes. That way you will have it. There we go. Okay. Then let me put the repo for Lugcast in there too. Huh?
I don't know. He just stuck the headphones on me.
Hello. So apparently I have just the Amazon Music, the YouTube, Reddit, MeWe, and Matrix. So apparently I really have to go and update the website.
Yeah, you're like way behind. You're a Lugcast noob. You need to get with us. You're not a real Lugcast head like we are. So while you're doing that, I'll explain what's going on with Lugcast Web, which is we talked about on the last show or just on Matrix. What did we talk about? Did we talk about? Yeah, we did because Eric was here.
Yeah, we did.
So we made it to do a quick recap. There's now a Lugcast Web site where it's just a browser version of Mumble, and you can just click on the link and it'll take you right to the show, so you can talk with us through your browser if you give it permissions for your mic and speakers. And so I've got that working, and it works fine. The only thing is I'm trying to create a duplicate of Opie the repeater bot, which is on the current Mumble server that we use on Delwyn server. And the thing is the Opie the repeater bot is very old. It was written almost 10 years ago using Python 2. So I'm rebuilding it in Python 3, but using the PyMumble library. And I've got a working version. What it does is it just repeats back your audio to you in a certain room so that you can tell that everything's working correctly before you jump in with the Lugcaster or whatever. Test your audio basically. But the problem is that it won't add a delay. So as soon as you start talking, it starts repeating back. And so I've got the first version I built. I tried to add a delay in that, and it does something. The way Mumble transmits audio is weird, I've found out, which is in 10 millisecond packets that are all joined together. So it's in packets instead of like a stream, like a constant stream, which is how all audio applications work. But the first try I did, I just put a time delay of 5 seconds, and what that does is repeats every 5 seconds. It'll repeat 10 milliseconds of your audio, so that didn't work. So then I wrote a buffer in Python to load the audio first, and then try to pull from the buffer your audio, 5 seconds of your audio, and that's not working either. It's because of the weird way that Mumble handles audio. So I got to figure out a third way to do this that's going to work, and I guarantee you it will be up by the next show. It'll be working. I mean, the Mumble server's already up, but the repeater bot will be working by the next show. But like, I can go ahead and launch it now, and you can see what I mean. Let's see. Well, I don't know if you want to though, because it might mess with your audio from regular Mumble.
What? Yes, probably.
Yeah, you probably don't want to do that. Anyway, but I put the repo on. I'll put a link to the repo, and you can see there's 2 different versions of there. In there, the movie list is there. The movie picker script is there. and both versions of the Mimic bot are there. And if anybody wants to take a peek around and see if they have any suggestions, it's all in Python, so it's not anything too complex of how to create the 5-second delay before it repeats back your audio. I looked through the code that Delwyn has on his server. It's just he's using a couple of deprecated libraries that I don't even think exist anymore, and mine is a lot simpler with the mumble library, but for some reason this delay thing is a lot more complex than I thought it would be. So I'll keep working on it, and it'll be up by the next show for sure. But anyway, I guess that's I'm announcing the official Lugcast repo too. I made that, and so that's on my Gitee instance. But anybody can pull down the movie picker. They want to use that and pick a random movie themselves, and and so instead of having to save all the movies to a list on my desktop, I did have a bash script doing that, but now that I got the movie list in the repo, it'll just pick from the movie list on the repo. And
I was just going to ask you that if it included it.
Yeah, so I just
Gotcha.
Inside the movie picker script is the URL for the raw file for the movie list, and I was having problems with it pulling back because I was trying to pull from the movie list on Nextcloud, but that's a markdown file instead of just a regular text file, so it starts repeating HTML classes and stuff like that. So I figured just give it a raw file or just a straight text file would be the easiest way, which I used to do when I would just download it to my desktop, but now I don't have to do that. So, I mean, you can't run it from the browser, of course, but I mean, you could if you somehow built the front end for it, but which maybe Honky wants to do.
What am I doing?
Build a front end for the Lugcast movie picker and put it on lugcast.com. One of these days.
Something interesting that I've been playing around with a little bit is was it called Python webio? You seen that at all?
No, I don't know that one.
It's a plugin for Python. Let's see if I can find a link for it.
You said Python webio?
Yes, I believe that's what it was.
It's a good name. Perfectly descriptive.
Right?
Seriously,
And that IO TLD is really taking off. So that's where we stand right now. But once I get that delay working, then everything should be just like Delwyn's server, basically, or for what we need anyway. But it'll be a lot easier for listeners to join. Join us.
Well, for what it's worth, I'm going to start mentioning Lugcast, LinuxLUGcast when I'm on other shows and streams and stuff. Because it is criminal that there aren't more people participating. I think there are plenty of people that are not doing anything on a Friday night, especially this late, because if you have young kids, they're going to be asleep and, dinner's over. This is a good time of evening, I think, for lots of people to just kind of be hanging out.
Well, I mean, even on Lemmy, I've talked to several people who will either mention the Lugcast Lemmy community or comment in the articles that have no idea that it's they just think it's another Linux community that you can comment on. They don't know that It's an actual online lug, and that's what the community is about.
Right.
So they subscribe to it and say, "Oh, this is just another Linux community." But no, it's called the LinuxLUGcast podcast. Is the name of the community. You think that would tip people off, So.
Well, to be honest, if I hadn't randomly searched for Linux on my podcatcher, because I do it every 6 months or so, like I'll just go in there and just randomly search Linux and see what comes up. And sometimes the search results are pretty poor. A lot of old content, defunct shows and stuff like that. But it came up, and I don't know, earlier this year started listening, and
It's the best.
and I know you say it. We say it all. Yeah, of course it is. That's why I'm here. But I couldn't stay away. No, I just I guess even whenever you say it, it really takes a while to sink in. Where you're saying, "Yeah, come join us, come join us, come join us," and like you're listening to the show, and I don't know why it doesn't like. I think for a lot of people there is a certain apprehension to speaking. Now, I'll tell you, voice only, I think, is probably attractive to a lot more people than video. Video is definitely sort of like a... So even though there's a...
It can be a little bit intimidating, right?
Yeah. It's completely voluntary. So for folks listening, like there is also a video component to this, but it's... You do not have to join it because we only listen to each other on Mumble.
Right.
We see each other on Jitsi, but we hear each other on Mumble. So it's actually a really good setup because if you only want to participate by voice, which I think a lot of people are more comfortable that way, this is perfect. And now that Mumble is easier and more approachable, I hope that people will take advantage of it because and this is only my second time, but I'm really, from listening to you guys, like I feel like I've kind of understand who you are a little bit, and even though I know you're just putting on personas for the big show.
Yeah, us Hollywood big shot types.
That's right. See, I know. Anyway, yeah. If you're thinking about joining, if you have time, if you want to just come hang out, if you hear someone say something you don't like, whatever it is, come and talk to us. Yeah,
Which that's a good
great
point you raised too about the intimidation factor. And I was thinking this Honky of making like a listening booth, like what's on Delvin's server too. Maybe people will be more inclined just to jump in the listening booth, knowing that their voice won't be broadcasted or they won't accidentally hit the mic or something like that too, and they could just listen live. So that's fine too, as long as you just join us. That's how we want. We're very lonely, and we
enjoy.
Year after year, 5150 told me to join over and over and over again, and I was like, no.
Now, what was your reasoning why you didn't want to join?
I'm in that 8% of people that would rather get killed than speak in public.
Okay. Yeah. And there's a lot, and I bet there's a larger percentage of those type of people within the tech community than there are in other communities too. We just kind of seem to be that way. So.
And we enjoy differing opinions. So
Absolutely.
If you disagree with us, please get on and tell us why, and we will listen and we will debate. And
just make sure I'm here so you don't kill yourselves.
Unless you have anything pro Windows, then
we might talk some smack, but we'll try not to be complete and total jerks about it. So
actually, I'd love for somebody to come on and tell us why Windows is better than Linux. I'd love for that to happen.
We'd love you to come on and tell us that GNOME 3 doesn't actually suck.
Mm-hmm. Whatever your opinion is, it's wrong.
2 words.
That's fine.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? Active Directory.
I hated.
See, I stunned him. I stunned him.
No, I hated when I used to administrate Active Directory.
One of the contractors jumped in and started working on a ticket where somebody didn't have access to the Linux boxes, and all the access is controlled by Active Directory. And even the initial start of it was one of the application developers has domain access and has a dump of the Active Directory configuration being messed up because the contractors full name and ID has been changed multiple times because it's misspelled. And so after multiple times, now it's fixed. But throughout the AD config file or whatever the output for the AD, it's wrong everywhere. I'm like, well, this is controlled through a Windows product that links it back into Linux using Active Directory. Centrify, the product is Centrify. Yeah, it's not our issue. He worked on it for 2 days. I was like, go ahead, jump in, grab the ticket. I'll be quiet.
Terrible. Yeah, the audience hates
My
that.
boss keeps me to only work 8 hours and stop complaining about working more if I'm jumping in and fixing stuff. Okay.
There you
I
go.
don't care if the developers. I don't care if HR has messed up the developer's ID and they can't get in. But it's not in the category of anything to do with me.
Yeah. Your 8-hour day is done, and
63 this week. I got it down to 63. Yes.
45.
Trying to get
That's
it
what I
down.
do.
I'm trying to get it down to 40 next week, and that's with Monday as a holiday, and Friday as a can I log it as training, or do I need to take a vacation day because I'm going to the Linux conference?
I'm working tomorrow, so don't feel too bad.
I'm working Monday.
I went in at 5 this morning, got off at 5, and I'm going in tomorrow.
I'm working tomorrow.
I'm
working
pretty sure
Sunday.
I'll-
Working Monday.
Pretty sure I'll be able to take a
Yeah.
comp day sometime in October.
That's
I
actually
really-
a good question.
Oh, go ahead.
So you're sorry, you're saying going in. How many of you guys still work physically in an office?
2 days a week.
Me,
I do. I do for 4
5
days a week.
I don't work in the office.
I have worked in the office 7 physical days since the stay-at-home order occurred in Ohio, and I'm still listed as an in-office employee, and I am submitting an official request to be changed to remote, to work from home, and then I'll never have to come in no matter what they change.
I work 6 days a week and walk in front of the public all day long.
We're actually required to be in the office for 8 hours, 3 days a week, or we get phone calls from HR.
Gotcha.
Yes. Are they all in the office?
Unlikely.
Is HR
They're
in the
watching.
office?
They're watching through the cameras.
Oh, I did see something interesting where somebody got fired, and they had discovered that she had days where she never did any work. So many times that she was late more than 15 minutes. All these lists of things, and she was fighting it, being terminated for it. And she's actually one of the employees that monitors with the software that monitors people's computers to check their activity.
I hope she gets fired.
You just can't make this stuff up, folks. I mean, come
Right.
on. Unbelievable.
That's
How-
an evil job.
How can you not rig that?
Yeah. It was one of the first wave of remote employees, probably 2007, 2006. And I would go to work, but I found it so distracting because I was unused to commotion around me. And we also had those like open office plans where people would have like a 3-foot glass partition where you're literally staring at the person across from you. Yes,
Have that.
exactly.
Don't even have
And-
that. But we switched to the agile area, so it's just a long table with monitors on it that you hook a laptop up to. And I'm going to get my complaint in, and then I'll let you continue. Because one of my coworkers' kids has COVID, and I have a daughter with a compromised immune system, and they still want me to come in 3 days a week. They don't care. So I have taken over an office. Nobody's using these offices. I have taken it over, and I don't talk to anybody in the office.
Yeah. I don't blame you. People don't understand what that immunocompromised stuff means. It's nothing to play around with, that's for sure.
I refuse to be the reason that my daughter ends up dead.
Yeah. Yep. Good for you.
I was told I couldn't eat leftovers. I couldn't eat mold with cheese. I couldn't eat raw food. I was like, what do you mean? It's not going to kill me. Yes, it will. Dead, dead, dead.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think that as administrators, a lot of the stuff, unless you do interface with the public, so that makes sense that if you need to be there physically for someone to literally grab you, that's one thing. But like, I was already sitting in a server room most of the time, or I was already on the phone, or forced to sit in conference calls, or and it didn't matter if I sat at a desk in the office doing that or at home. And yeah, if I'm going to work 60 hours a week, at least I should be home and, you know, be able to, I'd put on my headset and do dishes because I'm on a conference call that I'm not going to be speaking on anyway. I'd just be there in case someone called on me or something like that.
Yeah, well, the 2 hours that I spend driving every day, I used to spend, you know, logging into work, getting set up for work. So that way, right at the time when work started, I was all ready to go. Now I'm spending that time driving and I'm setting up when I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah. Yeah. And the cost of it, yeah, between the time and the cost. Yeah, I had an hour commute each way, same deal. And back then gas didn't cost $4 a gallon. But still, you know, wear and tear, time. It was the time. The time was really maddening because going, I actually didn't mind. Gave me a chance to wake up, drink some coffee, you know, kind of get my head straight, get into work. Coming home was infuriating because all I wanted to do was get home. And it would be dark already because I was in the Northeast. You know, it's just, I hated that trip home so much. Oh my goodness. So anyway, I didn't mean to get a sidetrack. I was fascinated.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever driven in the Dallas area, but after a certain point, it becomes very zen. Because your whole way home, you're like, I might die.
I'm not sure.
I spent a lot of time in Texas. Yeah. Yeah. And Texas builds roadways like no other state. Some of the clover leaves and the raised highways, and like, you look at it on a map and you can't appreciate it until you're there in 3 dimensions and see how high that raised road is. And you think, anyone ever breaks down up there? Like, what a hellacious place to be stuck, especially if you have any fear of heights whatsoever. Like, yeah. Anyway, and it's also easy because I drove there a lot before GPS was good at understanding exchanges. And so it would tell me to go, you know, turn right. And it's like, well, which right? It goes right 6 different ways, you know? Yeah, I had a lot of fun in Texas.
Yeah, I just did like 2 days there, and already I can understand road rage from there. I still don't understand the whole idea that there's no like back roads to something, or just you have to get onto like a semi-highway type of a road just to get to the next couple of streets up. There should just be like one little road in between both sections. Why do I have to go to this other way that's like a highway?
There are back roads, but the difference is the back roads are the freaking highways as opposed to the tollways.
Well, yeah, well, it's. You have to go to the, like, you're in a little area, and then you have to gun it 60 miles an hour just to go up there. And
you're muted, Eric. Your mouth is moving. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. It means, and this is a very Texas thing, those secondary roads that are right next to the highway, between the highway and wherever you're trying, that's the access roads. That's a very Texas thing. When you get off a highway in most places, you're off the highway. And you get off the highway in Texas, and you're on a different highway.
Right.
It's like
access road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get like a little side road for whatever it is that you're doing in that area. Like I had a hotel room, and there might be something else around that area. But then you go, and then you have to go to the next area over. You have to gun at 60 miles an hour on 3 lanes of road. That's after getting off of the 4-lane road.
If I've only got to go like 3-4 miles up the road, then I'm not even gonna enter the highway because I don't want to fight those guys. I'm just gonna stay on the access road.
You're better off walking.
And the access roads here
So
are
that's a good way
actually
to get run
called
over.
highways. Like if you take, there's a road called 75 Central Expressway. So if you take Highway 75, you are on the actual freeway. But if you take 75 Expressway, that is actually the name of the access road on the side. So you're still on an expressway or a highway. 635 is the same way. 35 is the same way. So
635 is like a business road, isn't it? Or 635 business?
that may be what it's called.
Is that where that giant furniture store is? Is 635 business?
What
The giant
furniture?
the furniture store that has there's like right next to it's the giant Ferris wheel and stuff.
I don't
IKEA?
know.
It's not an IKEA. It's something else.
I don't know. Furniture Mart?
It might have been like a furniture mart.
Warehouse?
What's that Nebraska Furniture Mart? NFM? That's off 635.
There was one
Thank you.
that was just it was like the size of a football field and it was just a furniture store.
That's probably Nebraska Furniture Mart, yeah. There's one place called The Dump. You know that one, Joe?
I don't.
It's going towards on 635 towards the airport. It's just called The Dump. It's a huge furniture store. A terrible name.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one here. I think they're only open like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Man, they
What
have. They're showing. Sorry, Hunky, but they're showing a full block of 1-900 commercials on here, and one of the commercials is 1-900-909-4-MAC, and you can talk to Mac the alien from Mac and Me. Remember that movie, Mac and Me?
That's kind of cool.
With that weird-looking rubber alien. It's
It's only
$2
$10
a minute. Yeah. They got publisher sweepstakes. They got the Lonely Hearts chat line, all that stuff.
What is the name of that chain furniture store that they have everywhere? It's they have different
IKEA?
versions of it. It's
Ashley's.
they have the outdoor version of it. It's
Let's see. Rooms to go.
something rooms to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
rooms to go. They have rooms to go. It's like outdoor rooms to go. I don't know, but there's all different types of rooms to go all over the place.
I didn't know they had different versions of it.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of them. Oh, here's the psychic. What's her name? Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo.
Yeah. $1.95 a minute. It's very distracting.
What a bargain.
She
I'm
got
gonna start
taken
calling
down
these
big
numbers.
time. Yeah, she got nailed big time after a couple years of that.
So did she get sued by the government, or what happened? I remember.
Yeah,
that.
it was some kind of
fraud
false
or
claims, fraud. It was this whole. I mean, of course there had to be.
Oh, you mean it wasn't real?
For entertainment purposes only.
She didn't really tell you the future.
Yeah.
I see you parting with lots of money soon.
$2 a minute, very soon.
Did you get the chance to check any of that Pi Webio stuff?
Oh, I forgot. Is it PY Web?
PY Webio. I put a link in the show notes.
See, I told you I was distracting you.
Piweb.io?
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Not loading. Oh, let me look at your show notes. Maybe you spelled it wrong.
Maybe.
No, that's how I spelled it. PYWEB.io.
Can you click on the link in the show notes? Because I just did a copy and paste of the link.
Oh, that opens. Okay. Low-code Python web framework for Python developers who like to build web apps without being bothered by front-end code. Oh, how about that?
You need the www dot in front of it.
Sure do. I haven't seen that in a long time.
That's for my subdomain.
So we can use this and just attach it to the movie picker, I guess.
It would probably work.
Yeah.
I mean, by low code.
Who wants to work on it with me? We can do it inside of Danny's Git T.
Yeah.
I can finally learn how to use Get right.
It's a valuable skill.
Mine is a notepad.
This is pretty cool.
I edit it directly in Git and then I pull it down.
Clear IO flow.
Go into their GitHub page,
Okay.
and then check out the part that says demos. There's a couple of demos in there. You know what? Let me see if I can, because I'd copied and pasted some of the stuff from the demo, and when you're talking about low code, I mean it's like 100 to do a little chat room type thing. It was like, what does it say? It's less than 90 lines of code.
Oh, okay. So this is just a library. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, Mumble is doing all the hard work for me for the bot. It's just a giant library. That's pretty cool. That's a neat find. What is this Boca? Is that photography, I guess? Oh no, okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna investigate this some more. Which, by the way, I should bring up this. I tried, I was so frustrated, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna try this AI to see if I can get it to fix my code. Totally useless. Terrible code. Doesn't even work. You tell it, okay, well, this is the error I got on your code. Well, that's because you didn't do this right. Here, try this. Repeats the exact same code it just gave you. This should work. And then you tell, that's what you just gave me. Okay, well, try this. And then does the exact same thing. The exact same code you just gave. How is this even useful?
You just need to learn how to ask the question correctly.
Yeah, I guess so. I need to enroll in a prompt engineering class so that I can learn how to use AI. But for me anyway, it was a bad experience. I'm sure it's fine if you want to turn your term paper into something that sounds like it's written by a pirate or something, but for actual coding it sucks.
Which AI was it?
It was ChatGPT.
Okay.
Which I saw Facebook just released a llama model, but just for coding.
Llama 2.
And they have one that's specialized for Python, which I could try that, and you can host it yourself.
Yeah, I don't know, man. AI is such a weird landscape. There's some stuff that really makes a lot of sense.
Speaking of AI,
go for it.
When are we talking about the movie? Or did we already talk about the movie?
Good man.
Real quick,
I thought we were going to wait to the end.
Oh, we can talk about it whenever y'all want to, I guess. Should we segue into it?
I don't care either way. I thought we were.
Saturn 3, brought to you by MGM Studios.
Well, one more thing about AI. If you, I saw this on the HBR Matrix Room. If you want to use it for free, ChatGPT, you can download Microsoft Edge, and it's built in. There's a chat function that's basically a gateway to ChatGPT, but you have to sell your soul to use it. So it's up to you
It's a
if you want
gateway to evil.
gateway to hell. So if you want to use it for free, that's one way to do it.
Just because I'm curious, what does selling your soul constitute?
It means that everybody's going to give you dirty looks when you're walking down the sidewalk because they know you're tainted by Microsoft, that you've installed the Edge browser on your machine.
Friends don't let friends use Microsoft Edge.
But that is a way. We have a subscription at work for free. I don't know why. It's just not useful to me, but I guess maybe I don't know how to use it.
I used to have a Microsoft developer account.
Well, when was this though?
Oh gosh,
2000?
no. Well, okay, no, that was when I got certified. In Windows, what was it? It was Windows 98. And then,
if it's work related, it's okay.
no,
You get a pass.
it was through work that I had the Windows or the Microsoft developer account, but that was 2010 to 2013, I think, somewhere in that time frame.
Sorry, there's this commercial. It's called 1-900-9099-CRY, and it's just all these people crying on a telephone. It looks like a Saturday Night Live commercial, but it's real. Oh, look at this.
Speaking of crying on the phone, I watched The Terminal with Tom Hanks also.
Did that give you a URL, Honky?
Yeah, well, it's basically just the it
Local
doesn't give
host?
you a URL. Yeah, it's localhost port 80. I would have to route it afterwards. But I mean, if you look at, let's see if I can. I mean, all it is for that is just a small amount of code. Like I said, it was like less than 90 lines of code for a little chat thing.
They don't. Do they have the actual library on GitHub, or is it just examples?
The library, I think you just do a pip install. Oh, let's see. Check there.
Yeah. There it is. Oh, okay. So you get an HTML. It's got all the CSS there. Platform. Yeah, it's all open source. It's pretty cool.
Because I've been looking around trying to do the I still want to do the leaderboard idea, and I fell onto this, but I kind of stalled on this because this is going to take some doing. Actually, I think the hardest part right now would be I got to figure out how to link it in with like a database, and right now I'm running it on a very old single board computer called a PC Duino 3 that I have Arch ARM running on. And so I got to figure out how to get like MongoDB was the suggested one, but MongoDB I believe is deprecated on it, or they just don't anymore. So
what about SQLite or not?
I don't know. I'm gonna try. I gotta work with that, and I gotta figure out how to hook in what it hooks in with. Because like I said, all the examples that they had for it were with MongoDB.
SQLite is tiny.
Yeah,
it should run on that little rascal.
Yes, and just like when I said working with Danny and Git, let me know. I can collaborate. I can do database stuff.
Okay, cool.
Sounds way too much like work.
Yeah, I can't do anything, so I don't ask.
We're dedicated to this show, Joe. We don't have the Mintcast to distract us.
Eric does.
Yeah, you've wrestled away one of our listeners. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. See, this is what happens. There's like a, they talk about gateway drugs. That's kind of what happened to me. I get sucked into all these things.
Did it again.
Yep. I've also been playing around with a way to try to build my own Manjaro ISO, because I want to build, basically have my own kind of spin where it's the Enlightenment desktop, because I like using I like using Manjaro and I like Enlightenment, but there's no like official build for it, and it's pretty easy. I'm trying to get the link set up here. It's kind of easy to.
Yeah, definitely share how to do that.
Yeah, he, if you're a member of the Lugcast Lemmy community, you can see Honky's comment where he talked about it.
So
I start thinking about it.
So if I was thinking about how to do it, I would use I would assume there's a Manjaro container, and I would try to do a container and a playbook that pulls everything in that I wanted, installs Enlightenment, changes settings, all that kind of stuff, and then converts it to some sort of image.
That's basically what they have set up. If you check the link I just put in the show notes there.
So there's an example here with XFCE.
Yeah. So I've been able to compile it, but I've been having problems right now because Enlightenment uses something for to connect to a network manager called Conman, and Conman, I can't get Conman to work right now, so I just got to play around with it. I mean, it'll start up as it'll start up into Enlightenment, and it'll have like part of it is you can describe which applications you want it to install or have during either the live or when you initially install it. So I want to play around with that. I mean, it's not very hard. So I think the more I play with it, I'm going to be able to get it to work. And then after that, I want to try to just theme it out and stuff. But I mean, if I can get that to work right, then what I want to do is set one up so, like this one that computer that I do podcasting on, get it set up for something light like an open box or something else light, and then just have it so it's automatically has everything I need for podcasting, whether it's the stream during the New Year's show or the just regular everyday podcasting, which I have the script to publish the shows to archive.org and stuff. Whatever happened with the lawsuit towards archive.org? Is that still going on?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah, in Lemmy, there was a chat thread that said what's going to happen if archive.org loses.
Yeah. We kind of talked about that last time. Try to think of a alternative for not the rest of the internet doesn't matter, but we just want to keep the Lugcast, archived. That's the only thing that matters.
And the Mintcast.
No. Well,
and HPR and tilts.
And the Linux Link Tech Show, yeah.
Yep.
No, none of that really matters. Just Lugcast.
Pretty sure it'll be pretty easy to host our 227 episodes somewhere.
Well, that brings up a good link that I posted on the Lemmy server. Why are you looking like that? You look like you're insane.
Well,
let's see. Oh yeah. So what's their face? WordPress has unveiled a 100-year hosting option for the right price. Did I put this in here? I thought I did.
What's the right price?
Oh yeah, here it is. Okay, I'll put it in the show notes real quick. It's a 100-year hosting plan.
Oh, I
Okay,
found it.
there it is. It's in the show notes. Secure your online legacy for a century. So we can do this if archive.org goes down.
The cost is $38,000.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Which I figured it out. That comes up to about $32 a month, which is pretty damn expensive, especially if you're paying for $100 or 100 years ahead of time, you know. But this is what you get: century-long domain registration. At the platform level, we maintain multiple backups of your content across geographically distributed data centers. Automatically submit your site to the Internet Archive, which is the whole point of using this is if that goes down. Enhanced ownership protocols. Whether you're gifting a site to a newborn or facilitating smooth transfer of ownership, we're here to assist every step of the way. Top-tier managed WordPress hosting. The very best WordPress experience, unmetered bandwidth, best-in-class speed, unstoppable security, and 24/7 premier support. Includes dedicated personalized support that begins with your interest form submission. So you just click on this button, it says I want the 100-year plan, pay your $38,000, and there you go. So I'll have to look in our Patreon, see if we have enough to cover this or not. It may be close.
I had two thoughts on this one. One, I checked the date to make sure this wasn't an April Fool's.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been. That's a smart move.
And second of all, you know, $30-some a month for hosting. You may think that sounds expensive, but I've worked for lots of people who like those premium hosting services where they charge, I'm not kidding you, like $350, $450, like ridiculous, stupid amounts of money per month. And I usually just go, are you happy with your hosting? Oh yeah, we love it. Their support's great. I've said, it better be.
Yeah, really. That's insane.
Yeah, also, it's just stupid.
How can you guarantee 100 years?
You can't.
Yeah, it says they've only been around for, they haven't even been around for 20 years. WordPress hasn't.
Right.
But they're saying
nothing's been around for 20. Well,
yeah, Automatic, the company behind
Oracle.
WordPress. To be fair, their websites run a lot of traffic on the internet, but that's none of this. Nobody knows anything about where technology is going. You know, is a website going to be a website in 100 years? Like, it doesn't even make any sense.
Or next month.
Right.
Yeah, so whatever. I'm sure it's good for it's good for exactly what we're doing right now, which is something.
Yeah, that's what it was meant to do, is to get people talking about WordPress and that free advertising, you know. So
you got us, Matt Mulloway. Good job.
Sure did. Mm-hmm. Fooled us again. So that's an option.
Hey, this Lemmy site's pretty cool.
It's really cool. I like it a lot. There's a guide I posted in Matrix. I can put it in the show notes too, of easy way to find communities. Fetish something?
Metaverse?
Metaverse search. Beta DP. And there's a lot of smartasses on the internet too. I discovered that by starting this.
Say it isn't so. Really?
Right?
I don't believe you.
I thought everybody was great.
I think there'd be more talk about this if it were true.
Oh, here it is. Okay, Lemmyverse. I'll put it in the show notes. Let me search.
Hey, Danny.
Yes.
You know that there are smartasses on the internet?
I have discovered that recently. I started using this site called AOL, www.aol.com.
Just recently?
Yeah, and I found some smartasses in the AOL chat rooms.
Huh.
They were trying to tell me.
Is that the new site?
No, he was reading the chats, but he didn't check the date on them.
It came off the CD that they mailed to me, and I plugged it into my CD player. And it didn't play any music, and then I read the instructions, and it says this goes in your computer. So I put it in there, and wow!
Which one of your computers has a CD drive still?
That's a good question. Maybe my backup server, I think, has a CD, or it has a DVD.
My Think Penguin laptop.
Does it really? Is it DVD and CD writer?
DVD and CD writer and Blu-ray player.
Like 2016?
Oh, a Blu-ray player too.
Correct. Yeah, it's going on 7 or 8 years. I need to replace it.
I don't own any Blu-rays. But I've been seriously thinking about starting to get into buying Blu-rays because I don't know. It seems like certain companies decide to get rid of good shows on streaming, and then you're left without a nice source sometimes of a 1080p or a 4K transfer.
You got nicotine.
Yeah, but even maybe I want a physical media to hold on to.
I'm gonna get rid of all mine.
Are you?
I recently did.
Why are you doing
Cassette,
that, Morton?
VHS, CD, DVD, Blu-ray, all of it.
You have VHS?
Yeah, probably between 500 and 1200 VHS.
Do you have a
Takes up a lot of
catalog?
space. Check those before you get rid of them. Some of them are actually worth some money.
Original copies of Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2.
There you go. I might do it.
Yeah, I like hard to find obscure shit like Laser Blast. If you have anything like that on VHS, let me know.
I have a bunch of Blue Moon stuff on VHS.
Oh, see, I like that too.
Backlash and Backlash 2 Oblivion.
Yes, for sure. If you ever want to get rid of stuff like that, just let me know. I will send you money. I'll just put it right through the monitor. So here, take my money.
Music tapes?
Not so much.
There's collects. I just need to find somebody who wants them. I have bootlegs of Tad and Soundgarden and Nirvana and all kinds of stuff.
That is cool stuff.
And then physical stuff in those 10x10 cassette racks, the shelves.
Yeah.
Or 5x20 or whatever. Yeah, I have tons of those.
Hang on to your vinyl.
They're in a closet. I have 2 sections of vinyl this big.
Yeah, don't get rid of that.
My Onkyo receiver doesn't work anymore. I assume it's a fuse. I'm not going to take it apart and fix it, so I can't listen to my vinyl anymore. And I'm not going to spend hundreds or even $1,000 to buy another
receiver.
Yeah.
And
It's funny you mentioned that.
That works.
Hold up. Why aren't you going to take it apart and fix it?
I don't have time to learn the cloud stuff I'm trying to do, so I can make a salary of $300,000 a year.
Yeah, what's more important, Mordancy? Huh? Listening to a record or making $300,000? Get your priorities
Well,
Oh, no,
straight.
apparently
no,
not the
I'm not
vinyl,
saying you should
because if
listen
I'm
to the
making
record,
$300,000 a year, I can buy a $10,000 turntable and all the other high audio equipment. And,
I'm not saying that he
and
should listen to his records. I'm just saying that he should fix the record player. It can't sit there broken like that.
the record player is fine.
It's the
Oh, it's
receiver.
the amp,
receiver.
The receiver, okay. You can't leave it broken there like that. You have to fix it.
I have a 200 disc Sony CD jukebox, a like $2,300, $3,000 Onkyo receiver from 25 years ago. Dual cassette deck. There's a whole bunch of stuff. The speakers. I have Bose speakers and Infinity speakers. I forget what the other brand of speakers is, but I've got multiple sets of speakers. The sound was amazing. I used to run the TV through it. It was great. Music, movies, all of it was awesome.
I've actually been thinking of picking up a sound bar because the sound quality from these two TVs is hot garbage.
Oh, yeah.
My first flat screen TV is a Vizio. I still have it, and it's attached to a Vizio soundbar with bass speakers underneath the coffee table that everything's stacked on. The
I have a
soundbar and the
soundbar.
bass is
Sure.
really good.
Samsung and then a subwoofer. I forgot. It's a good one, too, but I can't read what the brand
Yeah,
is.
the television is muted. All the sound goes through the soundbar. I don't even. I don't think I've turned up the volume on the TV from 0 for at least 8 years.
Clips. That's who makes my
Maybe 10.
subwoofer. It's really good.
I need one because I don't have a center channel, and trying to listen to spoken voice, since they have the music program 30% higher than the dialogue. So without that center channel, I end up listening on headphones most of the time. Get around that.
Or subtitles.
Yeah, well, that too. Good point.
My dad, giant like Bluetooth power speaker that can act as a sound bar, and I think next time I visit him, I'm going to bring that home with me because he doesn't use it, and he already said I could have it.
I was going to say for a second,
No.
you're going to take it?
Just don't even tell him. Just
No, he had
steal it
me
from him.
fix it last time I was there, and then he found out that he doesn't really use it, so
Got it. Okay. That was a point you were leaving out there for a second.
I'm just going to take a shit because I want to. He's old, he can't stop me.
Just push him over.
No, you say that, but last time he was here, he came to visit and bring my kid back. He fell, like walking down my.
So now I feel like a dick for saying that. Thanks.
No, you'll feel like even more of a dick here in a second. He broke, or he cracked one of his ribs, and he cracked his femur. Was it? What was it?
He rolled his ankle.
He rolled his ankle.
And he
Gosh.
fractured a couple of bones.
And he fractured a couple of bones in his foot. What, just bruised his rib? I know that his ribs were hurting.
He bruised the hell out of him.
He bruised the hell out of his ribs, so...
Nothing but
Yeah, he was really messed up. Yeah, I kind of felt bad about that.
he would have hated our old house with front yard more.
Yeah.
Why? Because
couple
you
of
shoved them?
No, he fell. I wasn't there when he fell, but he fell, and it was in my yard, and
Well, listen, if you go to take any more of his stuff and he goes to give you guff, you just say, "You remember that time you fell?"
Yeah.
You'll get worse.
No, because he didn't want to go to the doctor until he got home. So he had a broken foot and really bruised ribs, and so he basically had me pick him up and put him in his truck. His wife was driving. So my stepmom, she drove home, and then he got seen by his doctor, and then he ended up in a cast. So that's from here to Florida. It's like a 12-hour drive. with fractures in his foot.
I don't feel too bad, Joe. My dad slipped on a pine cone in my driveway last Thanksgiving and broke his wrist. Refused to go to the doctor. Didn't go to the next day. It was a whole thing. Then 2 days after he got his clearance from rehab and everything done with his wrist, he slipped and broke his foot. So that wasn't my fault, but I guess I should have had less pine cones in my driveway to start with. But yeah, it was a mess.
I guess he just wasn't supposed to do much for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did anyone actually say to you, like, oh, way to clean up the pine cones?
There was realistically there was only like 3 or 4 pine cones in the driveway, but the way he got out of the driveway, he put his foot down on one and just got out. But you know, he wasn't upset with me, but I felt bad about it though.
Gotcha.
So when I was talking about my Think Penguin being end of life after 7 or 8 years of having it, I maxed out everything I could, which is only 16 gigs RAM, and once Ubuntu switched Firefox to a snap, I have too many windows and tabs open, and it just sucks down 16 gigs automatically. Looking for a new laptop, I found several vendors now that offer Linux installed on devices. I think Tuxedo Laptops, LinuxOnLaptops.com is one of them.
Dell?
Yes, but not any of the ones that I want.
Oh.
I can get a 13-inch, yeah, just fine, but I want a 15 or 17-inch that with crazy battery life and all this other stuff. And I can find laptops like that in price ranges that I'm comfortable paying for, but not where anybody has confirmed they can install Linux on them. I really don't want to spend $2,000 to $3,000 on something that fits everything I need and desire, must-haves and nice-to-haves. And there's a company in, I want to say Denmark or something, the European country, called UK made, called Star Labs. They have a 12-inch tablet that's supposed to be comparable to a Surface.
That's in the Lemmy.
Oh, it's in the Lemmy?
Yeah.
I added it to the text.
That's
I've
fine.
been looking at laptops for the last couple months.
Yeah, I posted a link to that because I had never heard of Star Labs until
I have a couple times.
I heard about
They've
that
been around for a
new
few years.
tablet they got.
Yeah, and I'm looking to get. I think the 15-inch laptop is supposed to have like a 14-hour battery life. It's got color, LED, physical switches on the keyboard. You can max it out to 64 gigs of, I think, DDR5 and 2 NMVEs totaling 8 terabytes.
Yeah, the tablet is what I was interested in. It's really
I wanted
cool.
both too. I want both. That will meet everything I want and need for the next 7 years.
So we're
It's
going to be
cool.
talking about tablets on Sunday. You guys should listen.
So this is can I talk about the tablet real quick, or do I have to wait till the Lugcast talks about it first?
No.
Oh,
no,
go ahead.
Go
Oh,
for it.
thank you, Joe. Let's see. There's Star Lab,
Mintcast.
whatever it's called. Star Labs that Mordancy posted in the show notes. It's called a Starlight tablet. It's really cool. It's actually for what you get, the price is not bad compared to like the Samsung higher end Samsung Android tablets that are like $700 and $800.
Yeah, actually, if you max this out, which far surpasses the Samsungs,
Mhm.
it's only $800 and some dollars.
Which
the base
is-
price is under $5.
And you're not stuck with Android either, which is great. Yeah, so the base is what, $498? I think I see it on the website now. It's an Intel Alder
$498.
Lake quad core N200, 16 gigabytes of RAM, up to 3.7 gigahertz, 3K touch display, up to 12 hours of battery life, and it's all aluminum chassis, and it's got the what do you call it, little convertible keyboard. whatever.
Magnetic snap
Yeah,
board
magnetic
case.
keyboard. Yeah, and but for $4.98, that's a really good deal. Because I was looking at tablets too, because I tried to use my my NVIDIA Shield tablet recently, and it with the way it is now, and the I think I have Android 7 on it, which is the last they updated it to. It's almost unusable. Everything, I have to wait at least 30 seconds to a minute for an application to open. For Firefox to open to a web page, it's like I have to open it and then set it down and go do something and then come back, and then it'll finally refresh. Or even to rotate takes forever. And I was like, holy cow, it sucks. It's still a good tablet, but it's just made unusable by Android. But this looks really cool. The star, what's it called? The Starlight by Star Labs.
Yeah.
And then
Tablet.
I think they have Starfighter and Starbook.
Max it out. It is $864.
So what is the specs maxed out?
Well, you can add a 2 terabyte SSD. It actually, you can put Linux Mint 21.2 on it. You select the USB power plug. It's $100 for the optional keyboard, and then $43 for the active pen, and then you can get a longer cable for $15. So you're only really upgrading the storage and getting
so
a
not
keyboard.
the RAM.
Right.
But it's 16, right? 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, 16 gigs of RAM.
That's what I'm using in my laptop that's 8 years old,
Yeah.
7 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
for a
pretty
tablet, that should be plenty of memory.
It's
pretty
awesome.
compelling, no doubt.
And they show it. I guess that's Ubuntu because it looks like
Yeah, they show it with Ubuntu.
No. So I was gonna order it, and they had 3 to 4 weeks on the laptop and 4 to 7 business days on the tablet.
Really?
And then when I looked at some other companies, and then the next day when I went in, the times changed to 8 to 9 weeks and 4 to 5 months, and that doesn't include shipping.
Holy
So it's a
cow.
pre-order. So I reached out to him and asked him if there was any way to can I pay extra and have it expedited or something? I said I'm leaving the country and I don't want this to arrive at my house while I'm gone.
It's cool. They show it with all kinds of different distributions on it. Elementary, Ubuntu, Linux Mint,
Zorin Max, I think.
yeah, Zorin, MX Linux, and Manjaro.
So from a touch perspective, so I have never used Linux on a touch device, not even a touchscreen laptop.
I have an HP somebody was thrown away that has the touch.
Which of these options, if any, are actually like could I use this as an actual tablet without external input devices?
Yeah,
any of them?
Depend on the operating system. You have to do a lot of tweaking to Mint for it to be able to like pop up the on-screen keyboard, and then you have to do more tweaking to get the on-screen keyboard in a position that you find comfortable. I found that it's not Mint, it's actually most distros have that with Linux and getting the on-screen keyboard in the correct spot in a way that you like, where you can still see what you're typing and have it be usable and have it come up every time you hit a dialogue.
So I don't have a tablet that I've tested that with on Linux. I do have a 19-inch drawing screen monitor, a Huion, I think. And Garuda Linux automatically detects and pops up an icon for a virtual keyboard, so I don't even have to connect anything to it if I don't want, and I can use the drawing pin to tap on the keyboard, or I can use my finger.
That is another way to do it. I have in like the bar at the bottom, put just a quick button to pop up the virtual keyboard, and that is helpful for when it doesn't pop up automatically.
Got it.
Joe, what's the name of that Asus that I have? The Transformer, like a T100 or something?
T100. It's either the T100 or the TF100.
Yeah.
Depending.
So I have Ubuntu with whatever their window manager is, not GNOME, but the Ubuntu one. I remember what it's called that everybody hated.
Unity?
Unity, yeah, Unity on there, and that works pretty
Okay.
well for a touch screen. It's
That was one of the early ones that I picked up to put Linux on, was
Yeah.
the T100 line. And for a while there, you could get them for almost nothing. And yeah, you had to jump through some hoops to get a 64-bit operating system on there with a 32-bit bootloader. But once you did, it ran pretty well for several years. And
Yeah.
I even gave them to my kids. You could get them so cheap, it didn't matter. And parts were easy to get. And then, yeah, they just weren't powerful enough anymore.
Yeah, so I have that for a if I need to use something Debian based or something that uses apt, I'll break that out every once in a while, and it works. Still working. I thought it was broken because I couldn't get it to charge, so I left it to charge for like a week, and then all of a sudden the green light came on showing it was fully charged, and ever since I did that, it hasn't had a problem charging. I don't know what it was, but it works.
Yeah, I've replaced power ports on those. I've replaced screens on those, digitizers. That was one of the nice things too, is the digitizer would break, but the screen wouldn't, and so it's a lot cheaper to replace that digitizer than it is to the screen behind it.
That's an Intel Atom chip, right? Isn't that what's in it?
Yeah.
Not the fastest, but I can run a
There's some
terminal in it.
really good write-ups on everywhere on how to set that up with the 32-bit bootloader and the 64-bit Windows, and then all the work you have to do to get the audio working correctly.
It was a pain in the butt, yeah. But and once you get it done, I mean, you don't really have to mess with it anymore.
I used one. Well, I used a couple of them for years. And with that one, you could actually get the keyboard. They made a couple of different models of the hard keyboards that came with it. One with like an extra battery. I think they might have all had an extra battery. I'm not sure on that though. And one with like a 500 gig hard drive in it. So.
Oh, really? I don't have that one.
You hook it up to the keyboard and it just 500 gigs.
Do you know that one, Eric? The transformer, Asus transformer? Where you can just pull the screen off and use it as a tablet?
No, I had a Lenovo Duet and it was hot garbage, so but it had Chrome OS on it. Because I kind of thought that made sense. It was like Chrome OS is a lighter weight, so the changes they're making upcoming seem to make it more of an actual Linux distribution, separating it from the browser. But at that point, it was still just Chrome OS, but you could install actual Linux applications on top of it. So I thought, and it comes with a full web browser, which is my problem with Android and iOS, if we're including that, is the lack of a full desktop class web browser. I just need that for what I do. So I thought, okay, Chrome OS, right? This is going to be a good fit. So I got one. And I mean, admittedly, I knew it wasn't going to be a super high powered system, but it was so slow that it was literally unusable. And I just took it back because it was, I don't know who QA tested it and thought, oh yeah, this is totally acceptable. Because you'd wait like 30 seconds
What's
for this.
QA test?
Well, good point. You're right. Sorry.
I don't know, honestly. Lower lane testing.
I mean,
Quality assurance.
That's how my NVIDIA Shield tablet feels now. It's just unusable.
Yeah, I literally couldn't do it. So anyway, that was my sort of step up from an Android tablet, which I've had iPads because I've had things that only run on an iPad. I was a pilot for a little while and different things that I just needed things that ran on an iPad. So, but I never really liked iOS or iPadOS or whatever. So I've always also had like Samsung Galaxy tabs and other tablets, Android tablets, and I've always had the same problems with them. And so that's why I tried the Chromebook or Chrome, whatever they were, the Duet tab thing. And the idea was great. The form factor was great. Like the software actually was pretty good. It was just the hardware let it down completely. So if I'm going to get another tablet like that runs Linux or something like it, it's got to be powerful enough to actually be performant. I just can't. I'm patient to a degree, but I can't have it not function. Like it's unacceptable. I don't think that's unreasonable.
I'll talk to you about it on the day. I mean, you've already heard me talk about it once last Saturday, so
right. I just don't think with the way hardware has gotten so inexpensive and powerful that it's that big of an ask to have a mobile form factor, tablet form factor device that's powerful enough to actually just run something well. I understand software optimization is a big part of that, but still.
I think tomorrow I might pull out some of my old Android tablets because I just want to see how well Chrome Remote Desktop works on them. If I can spin up a desktop from my home server and have it, minimal latency and actually work well,
Mm-hmm.
that will be interesting.
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting test. I can't remember if I used Chrome Remote Desktop. I can use a remote desktop to a certain degree, but it does start to nag me after a while. Like if I'm making quick changes and I'm going to be working for like half an hour or less, then yeah, I mean, it's a way to get something done.
You said that one of your workspaces was a remote desktop to your other computer.
Yeah, but that's not my LAN.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be and it's also on a.
I've actually had really good luck with using Samsung DeX and Chrome Remote Desktop from, my office to be able to access my home computer.
Yeah, I think DeX. You're right. This time is a little different because I have a Galaxy tab with it when I'm using DeX, and Galaxy Android tablets were always chronically underpowered. They had like 2 generation old phone chips in them, right? They were just never fast to begin with. You'd get a brand new one and it was still not fast. Whereas this is different. Like this tablet is actually fast. So yes, DeX on this one has been pretty good. The thing that stands in the way is still the lack of a desktop class browser, and Android software in general is kind of jank for stuff like SSH and like file management and basic stuff you get with a Linux desktop.
I agree.
I put something in the show notes that I've been working on. A BBS for the Lugcast. Lugcast land. It's name of the software is called Enigma 1/2. I installed it on my Banana Pi M20, which is a really tiny, like a knockoff of what do you call it? Raspberry Pi Zero, except it's got a little quad-core CPU, but it's still 512 megabytes of RAM. And so I installed it on there, and it's running. It's pretty cool. I'll put some screenshots in the matrix room of Lugcast land. It supports all the stuff that a regular the old school BBSs did, like doors and stuff, so you can put games and mail and things like that. And but it also supports WebSockets. And so that I was going to use, I found what's called VTX client server, So you can have a web server to host the BBS, and everybody can access it through their browser instead of having to log in via Telnet or SSH. And so as soon as I get that set up, then we'll have a BBS for the Lugcast that we can all play with, and because I'm just not very experienced when it comes to securing Telnet and stuff, even though you can't really secure Telnet, I guess. But and I'm kind of nervous about it too, especially with me actually hosting it instead of in the cloud. And so I'm just going to have it accessible through the browser, and so I can have TLS and encrypted, and just go to a link and pop up in a window in your browser. So that's what I've been working on, aside from Mumble. But it might be fun if anybody's. We had a whole episode about BBS one time when Honky was on vacation too. We talked about BBS, and it was all the old people were here, and we had Grandpa talk, and that was a lot of fun. But maybe we can get that going again. BBS to play with. The software is really cool. The Enigma BBS software. It's kind of like a modernized version of some of the old school, like whatever they were. Lovecraft knows. He's more.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it
Netminer
does
knows,
look
too.
very reminiscent of the old school BBSs with the ANSI graphics and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to trying it out.
I remember that remark, Grandpa, indeed.
I wasn't calling you a grandpa. I was calling all of us grandpas. But it should be fun. It's not just something to play around with.
I'll be interested to try it because I really never used the BBS. I used a computer when I was very young that was offline, and then fell out with computers throughout most of my childhood after that, and really didn't get back into them until I was in my 20s, which was the late 90s. So BBSs were kind of not a thing for me, at least at that point. So
Me either. I never got into BBSs. I kind of like in high school. I was too cool for computers, and then when I became a nerd again, I got into computers again, but that was already past the BBS prime time, So none of us. Oh yeah, Mordancy's going to OLF, right?
I most certainly am. I didn't ask for permission. Just said, am I taking a vacation day or can I mark it as training? Because I'm not going to be here.
Did they let you mark it as training?
Yes, yes.
Oh, nice.
It's one of our goals that we have for our year-end review is that we have to go to training. And then they told us there was a budget freeze, so we couldn't pay for anything.
So, friends of the show, I think Hopper and RC will be there, right?
That's what they said, yes.
Oh, and Taj is going, right?
Yeah.
Taj and Lyle.
Yeah. I hate it that I can't go. I wish it would have been
Can't or won't.
Well, I do
I told
have an
you I'd take
appointment
your
to get my
stitches out.
statues out. Oh, you said you were going to do that, right? I forgot.
I've taken mine out more than once. I mean, it's just string. You just pull it,
I don't know if I trust
undo
you.
the
or
knot,
not.
pull it out, make jewelry. Look at that fine craftsmanship. I know what I'm doing.
Let's see if you can. See
I trained to be a body piercer too.
Is it visible? I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah, there's only 3 of them. I saw
Yeah.
the picture in the Matrix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just 3 stitches.
Yeah, if I can't unknot it, you just take any sanitized cutting instrument, from fingernail clippers to wire cutters, and just snip them and sanitize it with alcohol and just pull them out from the side that still has the knot. They should slide right out.
I don't understand
Or
why I
you can
don't
pay
trust you.
$150 copay.
Well, I've already met my deductible this year because I've been all a bunch of bad luck. So
I have met my deductible as well.
so I don't have to worry about that.
Would it surprise you if I told you I have also met my deductible this year?
No, actually,
not
I
really.
bet almost all of us have. I was trying to look through the Matrix. There's some other stuff. Oh, Bitwarden. I want to give a shout out to Bitwarden, which is a password manager that I installed recently. I'll put it in the show notes. I was using. I still have it installed, Passman on Nextcloud, and which is cool. But what I've been trying to get away from is using Nextcloud like as a means for an all do everything all in one deal. I kind of wanted to segment out certain things. Like for photos, I found a pretty cool self-hostable application called Immich, IMMICH. I've talked about that before, and it's specialized for photos and videos. And it's a lot easier to share with people than the Nextcloud Photos app. But for passwords, I was using Passman, which is good, but it's also only ran by one person, a voluntary developer. And Bitwarden is self-hostable as well, but it's a lot more professional, and I seem to trust it a lot more, especially looking through the docs, and the interface itself supports a lot more authentication methods and things like that. But I installed it via Docker, and it was really easy to install and get set up, and it's open source. But they also have, if you want, they have extra stuff you can pay for if you want to. There's an option that if you want to add password, what is the name of that website you can go to? Have I been pwned or something? Or to see if any of your passwords have been compromised or any of your accounts. If you want that to be automatic, you can pay for that service and stuff like that. But I'm posting it in there.
Do they have an ARM version?
Okay, I posted it. Do they have an ARM version? I think so. What are the architectures here? Well, maybe not. I mean, they have Docker. That doesn't always translate to Arch 64. Linux and Mac OS and Windows is what they show. Let me see their on Docker Hub if they have. No, they don't say anything about different architectures under the tags. Usually they'll have a tag for ARMHF and Arch 64 if they have ARM versions, but they don't. So x86 64 only. But I really like it so far, and it's very cool. As far as like the paid features, Trying to see. So yeah, the exposed password. If your passwords are exposed in a data breach, they will alert you. That's part of the premium. There's one. If you type a password to a website that has HTTP and not HTTPS, it'll alert you. But I mean, if you're installing this yourself, you should know better than to do that. And then there's an option about if you die or something to alert your family member, I think, something like that. Subscription. Okay, subscription, you get 1 gigabyte encrypted storage for file attachments, additional 2-step login options such as YubiKey, FIDO UTF, and Duo, emergency access, that's what they call it, priority customer support, and all future premium features. But, I mean, and they host it for you too. It's only $10 a year if you wanted to do that, which is not bad. Compared to like Norton or something like that, that's usually $50 or $60 a year, you know. But it's probably one of the cheapest. But I don't need any of that stuff, so. Yeah, trusted emergency contacts. Grant or manage emergency access for trusted contacts. They may request access to either view or take over your account in case of an emergency. And so that goes through the Bitwarden cloud server. Why you have to pay for that? That's premium. Anyway, check out Bitwarden. It's just it's a server, and they have clients for basically everything, for iOS, for Android, for Linux, for Firefox, for Chrome, all that stuff.
I've been using Bitwarden for years now.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it.
$10 a year for their premium version.
That's got to be the cheapest, right, of any service like that, I'm thinking.
It's incredible. You know, and I think the reason they do that is because they have corporate contact, enterprise deals where they're, you know,
yes,
they're probably earning a lot more than that. So
sure they are.
But yeah, I've used it, and I've been a paid subscriber for, I want to say this is my 3rd or 4th year that I've been paying for it.
You never had an issue with it, huh?
Never once.
Nice. Good to know.
Yeah, it's all great because it's open source and they've had independent verification of the code, and just a real solid company. You know, they don't do anything goofy. You know, they're happy with their place. They haven't made any like crazy UI changes or like, you know, like weird incongruent stuff. Like they just sort of steady state chug along, and I really appreciate that. Yeah.
There, and one more thing I wanted to mention. Let me put it in. I posted this, and
we're gonna have to talk about the movie soon.
One more thing. This is a game that you can host yourself. Two game-related things, actually. Oh, actually, let me hang on. I better play the theme if we're gonna talk about Linux Gamecast.
The Linux Gamecast. The Linux Gamecast.
Okay, let's see. The first thing is called A Dark Room, and it's a browser-based, like, do you remember like MUDs, text MUDs?
Oh, I used to play the hell out of some MUDs.
That's what this is, except you host it and then you can access it from any browser, you know. But it's a little bit more advanced than your regular mud. It's you can go to the website and play it too. Then they have an Android, but you have to pay for the Android version of it, or you can just host it yourself. But it was a fun game. I played it. I played on the web. I haven't hosted it or anything, but that's pretty fun. I just put it in the show notes. Called a dark room, and then put host there. There's something I showed Honky called what was it, Honky? For anybody
Minecraft server thing?
Yeah, that's interested in Minecraft. It's called Crafty Controller. Putting that in the show notes. Get down, Buster. Eating my cheese. Crafty Controller is a free and open source Minecraft launcher and manager that allows users to start and administer Minecraft servers from a user-friendly interface. It's run as a self-hosted web server that is accessible to devices on the local network by default and can be port forwarded to provide external access outside of your local network. Crafty is designed to be easy to install and use, requiring only a bit of technical knowledge and desire to learn to get started. Crafty Controller is still actively being developed, blah, 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 blah. It's on GitHub, open source. So anyway, it allows you to create and run servers, manage players, run commands, change server settings, view and edit server files, and make backups. I don't know anything about Minecraft. I posted this just because I know Honky's kids like it. He's going to give us a review now on Crafty Controller. So what'd you think about it, Honky? You like using it so far?
If I had anything to install it on, probably.
Put you on the spot there.
Yeah, right now I don't have a whole lot of, machines set up for servers. I have a bunch of spare the single board computers that I like to throw up for servers, but nothing like bigger. And you would need a regular 64-bit computer for a Minecraft server. I have probably repurposed one of these old desktops because it doesn't take much power to run a Minecraft server. But
it's all about RAM, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, we were playing it on. My kids have Fire tablets, and I purchased the Minecraft game from the Amazon store, and then I just installed it on both kids' tablets and my own, and we just played it that way, connecting to a server I had running before. But that server got repurposed into the Jellyfin server, so. But it looks pretty cool because everything that you would go into setting up and configuring one is a bunch of drop-down boxes, and then you could set it up as like a URL to be able to let it out and release it to the public, and then you can there was I don't remember whether it would get an SSL cert for you or not, but I thought it would go that far. Or whether that was in the future. I remember I sat down and watched the video for that. But it seemed pretty cool.
That is cool.
It set up access controls, and then it set up the different ways to quickly spin up a server, a world.
Do your kids still play Minecraft?
They do off and on. They just started back up again recently.
Anyway, that's all I had for the game cast. Y'all want to go to Linux Movie Cast?
Oh, we have music for the movie cast?
You know we do.
I forgot, I'm sorry.
All right. You want me to give a quick rundown?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So we decided, or the script decided, to watch Saturn 3, which, when did Terminator come out? What year was that? 88? Or earlier? Or
No idea.
it definitely came out after
It was
this.
earlier. It was before 88.
It was?
It was 84.
Oh,
1984.
okay. And this came out in 1980. So there's not a lot to plot-wise here. Basically, it's a killer robot movie. But it's man, Farrah Fawcett was in her prime in this movie. She was smoking hot. So it's her and Kirk Douglas that are. I guess Earth is like. Is it a shithole now or something? The way
It
they
was
talk
implied
about
that
it.
it was very
Yeah,
Chili.
because it could. Well, anyway, so they're not on Earth. They're on like a space station or something. Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett, and they're doing like it's like a hydroponics. I think they're growing food for Earth. I think is what it is,
They're
right?
growing food, but they're also doing research on how to grow food faster.
Okay, so it's as far as I know, they're the only two on this space station, and then it shows Harvey Keitel's character. He's not at the space station yet, but he's getting ready to. He's kills a guy that's supposed to get on the ship to go to the space station and takes his place, puts his helmet on and stuff so nobody knows it's him, and arrives at the space station and tells them that he's Captain whoever so and so, and he's there to set up this robot that's supposed to help them out with their duties on the ship and stuff like that, and so they think that he's legit, right? So he has this robot that he puts together, and he talks a lot of shit to Farrah Fawcett, tells her, hey, you don't want that old bag, that old man Kirk Douglas, you need to come with. Actually, he tells her something crazy. He said
No, he
Let that
said
old
that he
man
wanted
touch
to
you?
use her body,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah, he said, may I use your body? Your body has very nice physical shape. May I use your body? It's like the worst pickup line you could think of.
Evidently, society has changed to the point where all you have to do is say something that's stupid, and women are supposed to fall all over you or something.
Yeah, and she's like, what the hell are you talking about? Hey, did Jackie watch this?
No, she did not watch Saturn 3 with me.
Oh, okay. But anyway, he's a real creep, and he's setting up this robot, and what happens is, well, let's talk about the robot because it's like the tech-related part of the movie. It's actually a really cool design. It's like kind of humanoid, but it has a camera on top with a really tiny two little light-up eyes that kind of take up everything. And what's cool about it, though, is the brain that operates it. That's made from real human tissue or something, and it's in this giant canister, and that goes in the center of the robot, and it's basically a clean slate, like a fetal brain, and you have to teach it, concepts and how to do things and stuff, and Harvey Keitel is a psychopath, and so he hooks the brain up somehow. He says it's a direct connection or something, and of course, so the brain is learning all his thoughts, and since he's crazy, it makes the robot evil and crazy too. And the robot goes on this kind of like a mad killing spree and kills a dog that's on the ship and kills Harvey Keitel too, and like cuts off his hand when he's like holds his hand out. You remember that has pinchers, and he just cuts his hand off and it falls on the ground.
The whole thing is that when a crazy person uses their brain to train a robot
it's
with a human
Frankenstein,
brain,
right?
Yeah.
Isn't that Frankenstein's? The concept, abnormal? The
Yeah,
brain they put
pretty
into Frankenstein? So that's
That was
basically what
young.
happened.
That was young
Like
Frankenstein.
Yeah, young Frankenstein. Well, it's the same thing with regular Frankenstein. They put the wrong brain in there. But so yeah, it's like a homicidal maniac, and that's the basis of the movie. It not only cuts off Harvey Keitel's hand, but wears his face on top, or skins his face off and wears it on top of his head like a mask.
The little Christmas light eyes are coming out of like one eye hole. It's just sticking out the side of the face,
poking out of the skin of the skin mask. It's only like covering half of his face. So, Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett, like, we gotta kill this thing. It's gone crazy, and somehow the robot gets the upper hand and puts him to sleep, knocks him out or something, and implants inside Kirk Douglas's neck the same interface that was implanted into Harvey Keitel that he used to train the robot. So with this implant, I guess the robot can make Kirk Douglas do whatever it wants him to do.
Well, from what I understood, the plan was to do things in reverse and train Kirk Douglas's character's brain with all the stuff from the robot, so that the robot could be human and be with the Farrah Fawcett character, because what's his name was.
That was Harvey Keitel's
Harvey
fantasy.
Keitel was in love with. Fantasized about her while wearing the interface.
Right. So, of course, the robot is in love with her now. So, it comes down to it, and I won't give away the ending, but I will just say that it's an explosive ending, and it kind of goes from there, And eventually, I will say Farrah Fawcett does make it to Earth, though. But I thought I really liked the aesthetics of this movie. I liked the way the base looked. Very 70s sci-fi, even though it was 1980. It reminds me a lot of 2001.
It was very
Space Odyssey.
70s cinematography, too. It was a little bit slower
Definitely
to get where it was going.
Yeah. It took a while for the actual action scenes to pick up. They gotta kind of do the whole drama thing and show you the tension between Keitel and Douglas's
and the
character.
gratuitous nudity.
Yeah, in the very beginning, you actually see Farrah Fawcett's boobs, which if you blinked your eyes, you would miss it. But for some reason, they showed Kirk Douglas's butt way more often than I would have liked, but it is what it is, So, all in all, I thought it was an interesting movie. There's not a lot to it. I mean, it's just a killer robot movie. Basically, it's nothing really deep you need to read into it or anything. But I'll give it a thumbs up. I thought it was interesting. At least kept my interest.
It is definitely a product of its time, and yeah, it had some interesting concepts, but I think they could have done some more with like background stuff that was going on, the political scene and how they got there. But that's just me, and so yeah, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, they put I think they put enough money into this movie that it definitely warranted at least filling out the plot a little bit and telling us exactly what was going on Earth, and some of the political stuff would have been nice to hear, but oh well, what are you going to do?
While they were building the robot or something. Or...
Yeah. So did you see the robot pulled Robotrix and put itself back together? After it already been
activated
disassembled.
the other robots and made them come over and
the brain
put it
worked
back
on its
together.
own.
Yeah.
So Robotrix comes back again, and always weasels its way into the show. So I noticed a lot of similarities with Terminator too in this movie. And this came before Terminator, so I wonder if this had any influence on that. But there's been lots of killer robot movies in the past.
the cinematography and you know the situation, kind of 2010 Space Odyssey or 2001: A Space Odyssey. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Definitely noticed that. So, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs up for me.
Mordancy got a thumbs up.
Honky took a nap.
He's
No,
asleep.
I'm right
Mhm. What do you say? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thumbs up.
Oh, okay. Lovecraft, did you get to see this?
I did. Yeah, I'm going to give it a thumbs up too. And one thing I did notice at the very beginning when he was making his approach into to dock there, it seemed a little reminiscent of the Star Wars, the trench run on the Death Star. The way the camera work was going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I saw this a long time ago, but yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, nice. Netminer, have you ever seen this Saturn 3 with Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett and a young Harvey Keitel?
Well, I have seen it very long time ago.
Now, what do you call it? Wikipedia says it was a box office bomb and earned largely negative reviews. Well, that's too bad. A budget of 10 million, box office 4.9 million. There just wasn't much to it, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Joe said, it wasn't very fleshed out.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of like did it ever explain why Harvey Keitel killed that guy to get onto the ship?
Yes, it actually did. He had a mental evaluation. This is like right there at the beginning of the movie. The Harvey Keitel character had a mental evaluation and was told that he wasn't stable enough to go up there, which is why they picked the other guy. But I guess he still wanted to go to be a part of the science, and he's crazy, and it's obvious that he's crazy throughout the entire movie. So yeah, he found an interesting way to kill the guy that was supposed to go and take his place.
So I had watched the beginning of Saturn 3 like a couple of months ago and then stopped for whatever reason, and then remembered this morning that I was supposed to watch Saturn 3, so I watched the rest of it this morning. So yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, it starts out in a locker room and like, yeah, I guess it has to be on a space station. It can't be on Earth.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, there was like an airlock or something.
Exactly.
In the locker room for whatever reason.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
he flushes him out of there.
Airlock.
Oh, and when I forgot about that part because he goes up as soon as he goes into space, he like breaks apart.
He shatters against the ropes that are made to like keep debris floating out. So evidently, he instantly froze and then shattered upon hitting the steel cables.
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly. Oh, did you notice when? Well, I don't want to give away the ending. Okay, I want to say this. So, if you're listening and you haven't seen it, you want to see it, turn down your volume for like 60 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, did you notice that when Kirk Douglas fell into the water with the explosives and with Hector, they exploded, but just the robot parts came out. You didn't see any arms or legs or human parts come out.
Well, I think they were trying to cut down the rating. I think if they started throwing human chunks into the air and stuff, then they might have gotten.
Why didn't the robot explode the first time it fell into the freezing pit?
Oh, he had an explosive on him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was rigged up with an explosive that
that's
he
what
was.
I missed.
Yeah, had it in his hand whenever they fell into the water. But I mean, they already showed body parts in the very beginning, so might as well do it again.
That is true.
Anyway, that's just a passing observation.
They just didn't want to get that gory.
Yeah, I guess not. Was this?
Well, what's a couple of more frozen chunks amongst friends?
Right?
What was this rated? Does anybody know? This doesn't say.
Probably R.
Oh, it had to have been probably, right? Since it had nudity.
No. Right. It only had the one short scene of nudity. I don't remember any actual swearing in it.
That's not going to be PG-13.
It very well could be PG-13.
I bet you
Remember
it's
the time
not.
frame.
Did PG-13 even exist in 1980?
I don't think so. Oh, it was rated R. Sure was. So, well, that's what IMDb says.
Now it would be rated like PG.
Sex and nudity, violence and gore, profanity, alcohol, drugs, and smoking,
Welcome to
frightening and
Monday.
intense scenes. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Blue
I forgot
pills.
about the blue. What were those blue dreamers?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Blue Dreamers, and then the green something that's supposed to make you hallucinate about being on Earth.
What is that? Is that what they do? The blue dreamers?
No, the Blue Dreamers allowed some kind of connection because it was for people that were isolated. And now I don't know if I'm remembering this exactly right, so correct me if anybody else does remember. But the Blue Dreamers were for people that spent a long time alone in space so that they could reconnect with people. And that's why Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett split the one pill and took it together.
Okay.
But the Harvey Keitel, I think it was talking about taking 3 of them or something.
hmm
And then, yeah, he tried to get her to take the green pills as well, which were supposed to make you think you were on Earth and see it in like you were there.
Oh, and it showed that the dog was all cut up on the ground too.
Yeah, but that was real quick, though.
Stomped on by the
I mean, as
robot.
soon as I saw the dog, I knew it was going
Ripped
to die.
apart. Yeah.
You know,
As soon as you heard it scream.
as soon as I saw she had a cute dog on the ship, I said, well, that dog's going to die. But anyway.
Oh, I watched Willy's Wonderland.
Is that the Nick Cage movie?
Yes.
What'd you
I
think?
love that movie. It was awesome.
They're talking about doing a second one.
Really? I thought it was fun.
I thought
It
it
was
okay.
a lot of horrible acting, but it was still a fun movie.
You know what? Nicolas Cage didn't have a single line.
Not a single line.
Didn't say
He
a word.
grunted. He kind of grunted every once in a while, but that was about it.
But he made sure to take his breaks when he was supposed to.
Yes, he did. He took his 15-minute break.
I waited over a year to watch that for somebody
Oh,
else
yeah?
to watch it with me, and I ended up watching it by myself, and then watched it a couple more times with other people. I really liked it.
Now, have y'all seen Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie?
No, I
No,
couldn't bring
I have-
myself
I
to
have
do
that
it.
I have that queued up to watch. Maybe I'll watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, let us know how it is in the Matrix or
That
something.
sounds like a Labor Day movie.
If
Labor
it's
Day
worth
weekend.
watching or not. I'll let you go first, and if you think it's worth watching, I'll watch it. You be
Have
the
you watched?
sacrifice.
Have you watched Happy Death Day to You yet?
I've seen that, yeah.
The second one?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
They're supposed to be
I
doing
haven't
the
seen
third
the
one.
second one. I've seen
I've
Happy
been
Death
waiting.
Day.
I've been waiting for the third one.
And they said that it linked back into some other movie somehow.
Really?
What was the movie that directed before Happy Death Day?
Was it a murder party or something like that? I think that's it.
Babysitter.
I thought it was Murder Party.
I think the movie was awesome.
No, it wasn't Murder Party. That's the guy that did Blue Ruin and Green Room, which are also really good movies. Jeremy Saulnier.
Okay, I see Happy Death Day to You. Future regarding the possibility of a third film. He definitely has a third movie in his head. We're gonna make a third movie. We want to make a third movie.
Have y'all seen Green Room?
I saw it in theaters.
It's awesome. It is awesome. It's about this punk rock band that goes to play at this bar and ends up being like a neo-Nazi skinhead bar. And the first song they sing is a Nazi, what is it? Nazi punks fuck off. Then the movie just takes off from there. And then it's super hardcore, violent, crazy. It's... Oh, and the leader of the of the Nazis is Patrick Stewart.
Captain Picard.
Yeah, Captain Picard. But yeah, it's a ruthless movie. I definitely recommend it. Have you seen that Lovecraft Green Room?
I have not. I've heard of it, but
Yeah, it's
haven't had a
good.
chance to check it out yet.
Happy Death Day is in the same universe as Freaky, where Vince Vaughn is the serial killer and steals the cursed dagger and switches bodies
Oh,
with
yeah,
I
saw that. Yeah.
yeah. Those are all in the same universe.
Hmm.
There's
Cool.
supposed to be a connection.
So the third movie is going to link back to that?
I don't know.
It doesn't necessarily say that. I haven't
They
seen
just
that.
keep talking about a third movie possibly coming.
Called Happy Death Day to Us.
And the second one is the tech movie.
Technically, the first one's a tech movie too. It just doesn't get explained until the second one.
Oh, we need to pick the next one, right?
Yep.
Does
And it's
anybody
getting
want to
late.
use the movie picker, or do you want me to use it?
Go for it.
Okay. Have it open. So, well, hang on. I forgot to do something here real quick. Oh. Tetris from 2023. Next movie.
Is it Tetris?
Yep. I'll put it on there. Okay, I've got the IMDb link already and everything.
Story of how one of the world's most popular video games found its way to players around the globe. Businessman Hank Rogers and Tetris inventor Alexei Pajitnov joined forces in the USSR, risking it all to bring Tetris to the masses.
Just curious, how do you guys plan on watching it?
Oh, there'll be a link.
Okay, just curious.
Yes, that's true. There will be a link.
Do you already have it?
Not yet. It'll be in the Matrix room.
Matrix room. Oh, right, Matrix.
Are you on Matrix, Eric?
When I have a reason to join in to load it, I am.
Oh, okay. But do you know our channel?
Yeah, I think I'm in there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's where we do all our chatting.
Good to know.
Where we do different games.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we don't need to get into it now, but I couldn't quite figure out what it is the game you guys play.
Man,
The connections, puzzles,
there's
and
so
all that
many
stuff.
to even.
So Connections has 16 boxes and each one has a word in it. And those words are connected somehow. So there's 4 sets of 4 words and each set is connected in some way. Like there'll be, like I think the one was 4 of them were Tonys. Tony Stark, Tony Soprano, Tony Hawk, and Tony something else. The names of reindeers. Cupid, Dancer, Dasher, whatever, Vixen. But,
So
sometimes there's a word that fits 2 different groups.
They try to
then the
trip you
colors-
up. Yeah.
Yeah, they try to trip you up, and then the colors are yellow, green, blue, and purple, and those are the difficulty levels of the group of 4 to make the connection.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that the colors actually meant something.
Yeah, the instructions that pop up on the screen tell you that.
Guess I should read the instructions.
Nobody reads those.
Right?
I thought there was something else I was going to talk about before we go.
Netminer, have you been working on anything?
Oh, that's a good question.
No, I've just been grinding along with some stuff. Yeah, just not too much active right now. Unfortunately, I'm feeling a little run down. How many more links do we have?
We haven't even done any links.
We've done a couple.
Oh yeah, I guess we have.
Netminer, Elle says hi to you specifically. She says hi to everybody, but she specifically says hi to Jeffrey.
Well, I hope things are going well with her paperwork and.
Yes, we have everything submitted to the lawyers, and I think the lawyers in Thailand have submitted to the U.S. government, so we should be getting our official case number, and then we can petition to have it expedited because of my health.
And have you heard anything about your health? You've been worrying me.
Oh, yeah, sorry. My CT scan came back inconclusive, which was about the best I was expecting. So there isn't anything that screams we have an issue to address. But it also isn't, yes, everything's perfect. So it's still in between. It's still in a watch and wait state. But they did move my tests from 3 months to every 4 months. So when I go to my next appointment, then I can leave and go back and visit her.
Well, sounds like she'll do as much as anybody for you.
Oh, and I don't know if I told you guys she had appendicitis and had to go have emergency surgery.
Oh, damn.
I did. Okay, she's back work now. Everything's fine, and she has moved from way outside of her work area, like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour drive to where she does direct sales, to right in the middle of the area she's in control of, the 19th floor of this huge apartment. I don't like being around that many people, but it looks appealing to me for being in the city. And it's close to everything: the sauna, the ice bath, the Chinatown, the train. Everything is within like a kilometer in each direction.
Nice. It's very convenient.
So my health seems to be doing better. So does hers, and it looks like we've got the last of everything on our side done, and the wheels are turning, and the lawyers have a 100% success rate in visas being approved.
Very nice.
Good.
Are you going to take her with you to the next OLF?
Yeah, I'm hoping she can be here by then. I'm hoping she can be here by April. But yeah, definitely OLF she'll be going. Her daughter Her daughter is going and buying an SD card because she won't buy one. I keep trying to get her to buy one, so I'm sending her daughter money. She's going to get an SD card, and if L doesn't do it, I'm going to have her daughter download Ubuntu, burn it to the USB, and already have the instructions on how to get her Acer Aspire 3 laptop to boot from a USB. So I'm going to make her start using Linux, and
Did you tell her that was one of the house rules? You can't bring Windows into this house.
Yeah, no. When we first started talking, I told her that was a rule. There's no Windows in my house. No personal devices with Windows. They're forbidden.
Mordancy walks the walk and talks the talk.
Well, friends, my birthday is the end of, close to the end of March, and one of the biggest gifts I could get would be knowing that she's on this side of the big salt.
The end of March?
Yep.
That would actually make me very happy. The March would be wonderful.
All right. So do we have anything else?
I'm good. I made a little outro song. If you want me to play that at the end.
Before I read it or after I read it?
Just after.
Okay.
See if you guys like it. Maybe you won't. Maybe you will.
Our next recording date will be September 15th, 2023. I won't be here, so somebody else is going to have to send me the recording. Our music is downright provided by Klaatu and Brome. I'd like to thank Delwyn for the use of his Mumble server. Finally, we'd like to give a special thanks to Father Finch, Phoebe, Dave Morris, and Tony Bemis for all their help and support over the years. I've been your host this evening, Honkeymagoo. With us tonight has been Eric.
Have a wonderful couple weeks.
Joe.
Good night.
Lovecraft.
Good night, everybody.
Lugbot.
Good night.
Couldn't even type anything in, huh? All right. Minnix.
Good night, and have a safe holiday weekend.
Mordancy.
Good night, everyone.
And at Minor.
Good night. Well, and best wishes to Elle and all her family.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody. Oh, wait, but we got to do a Lugbot song.
You want to do it? Okay, here it goes.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
Excuse me. I think you need to put this in the show notes.
Linux is amazing. Linux is amazing.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody.
What'd you think?
Oh, that was something.
That was good.
You know, the
You like it?
beat That was a brass monkey beat you had in there, Beastie Boys.
Yeah, I made that in that Reaper program.
Nice.
Anyway.
Oh my.
I wanted to make it a little more personal than our regular outro. Maybe a little more modernized, too.
As Villanelle would say, ha! Ha!
Oh, by the way, all the themes are in the Lugcast folder.
Did anybody watch Killing Eve? Villanelle?
Killing Eve?
Killing Eve with Michelle Cho, I think. And then a Russian actress, I forget her name is. It's a MI6 agent chasing down a female assassin. It's an awesome series.
Check it out.
All right. That's enough of that. That was definitely an interesting song.
I'm glad you like it.